Fort Nisqually turns 90.
Puyallup Avenue gets some notice.
And the U.S. Air Force Band comes to town.
These stories and more coming up next on Tacoma Report. Welcome to Tacoma Report. I'm Angie Foster.
And I'm Laura Proctor. We take a ride with Tacoma visionaries on a trip to the mall sub-area as they plan for the upcoming regional growth plan for Midtown. Mark McKittrick is here with the story.
A team of 28 artists and community members joined facilitators on a visionary tour through the Tacoma Mall sub-area this April.
Subarea is super important because it's right near downtown and it's been designated as a regional growth area. And that means that they want more people to live here, they want it to be denser, they want it to be more accommodations, places where it's a green, healthy, wonderful place to live, and we're in the process of helping to plan it.
The sub-area encompasses the Midtown section of I-5, South Tacoma Way, and 48th Street. The City of Tacoma and the Puget Sound Regional Council designated this area as a regional growth center. And in 2018, Tacoma City Council adopted the Tacoma Mall Sub-Area Plan. An art plan was one of the recommendations of that work. The art plan will include art-related actions that can help improve quality of life, public safety, and address climate concerns.
Art can be purely decorative, but it's really integral to life, and it's integral to infrastructure as well. And in this placemaking plan, we're thinking about all the changes that will be happening here. Roads and water and stormwater and parks and greenery and pedestrian ways. We want this to be a people-friendly, healthy, green place, and artists are going to help us do that.
The participants of the visionary tour included a wide range of talent and creativity from poets, painters, writers, skateboarders, photographers, and filmmakers, in addition to area residents who have been engaged in community volunteer efforts around the mall sub-area.
Tacoma has a wonderful group of creative people that just live here all the time, but they don't necessarily all get together and think and talk and create. And bringing everybody together for this very wonderful time to rethink a particular place and space was wonderful.
As the tour weaved through the four main quadrants of the sub-area, the visionary team hopped off and on the bus at different points of interest to gather a personal sense of the area and how they might see it through a different point of view.
Artists can do their best work when they're at the ground level, when they're beginning, because there's different kinds of art. Artists have the opportunity to really think about place, think about space, think about the people there, the history of the place, all the issues that are around the place. Where does the water come from? What's happening with the air? What's happening with the people? They can do a better job. So it's practical, it's visionary, it's really better connected with the community, and I'm just very hopeful that we'll be able to do all of those things with this plan.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Mark McKittrick.
For more information on the Tacoma Mall Sub-Area Regional Growth Center Plan, visit cityoftacoma.org/planning.
Do you want to electrify your home, lower your energy use, save on utility bills, and cut climate pollution? Then check out The Switch Is On. This one-stop shop is here to help you navigate the process of upgrading your home with clean energy technologies. These include a heating and cooling system, a heat pump water heater, or an induction cooking stove. The Switch Is On works to connect you with knowledgeable and skilled local contractors. It also helps you identify what incentives you could qualify for from local governments, federal programs, and utilities. Check out their website today to find out more.
Join city staff for an open house to learn more about the design of planned improvements on Puyallup Avenue. Reconstruction of the roadway is planned to include improved pavement design, sidewalks, crosswalks, lighting, landscaping, bike lanes, and more. The project is currently in design and is anticipated to go to construction as early as 2027, pending funding availability. Mark your calendar for the Puyallup Avenue Corridor Open House at the Tacoma Dome on Wednesday, May 29th, starting at 5:30 p.m.
Tacoma celebrated the 63rd annual Junior Daffodil Parade last month. Hundreds of families lined the streets of the Proctor District to cheer on the participants as they marched down the sunny parade route.
The theme this year is Time to Shine, and I promise you, your kids are going to shine this morning, and maybe a little grumpy later today, and we're all probably going to need a nap. But it's going to be a fun day. We're going to see a blue mouse, lots of bands, elementary school polar bear, and a lot more. So let's have a lot of fun, shall we?
And shine they did. From middle school marching bands, petite princesses, and tiny superheroes to a synchronized stroller performance and tons of furry friends, the parade was a great success that left a smile on everyone's faces. If you missed out on this year's Junior Daffodil Parade, it's never too early to start planning for next year. Create a costume, make some music, or build a non-motorized float and participate in Washington State's largest children's parade. But don't let that statistic scare you off. The parade route is still only 4 blocks long, so even the tiniest tykes can complete it.
After the break, I'll talk with Jacques Colon on a Tacoma community survey.
And later, we'll step back in time at Fort Nisqually. Stay with us.
The 2024 Tacoma Community Survey is being conducted during spring and early summer of 2024. Results tentatively will be published in August of 2024 as well. The survey is an opportunity to identify which services and issues residents feel are important, which service areas have improved over time, and which service areas could improve in the future. With me today is Jacques Colon, Chief Strategy Officer with the City of Tacoma. Jacques, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. So Jacques, let's start out with our first question. What is this year's survey all about?
Yeah, so the community survey is really all about everything. It's one of the few opportunities we have to ask the community about how they're feeling about the city in general, about particular services, and really it's a way for us to better understand how are the things that the city is doing either meeting the community's needs or not, both of which are extremely important for figuring out how we provide the best programs and services to the community.
Absolutely. And so when and how will the survey be conducted, and is the community survey an annual thing?
Great question. I'll start with the second part first. Okay. It is not annual, it's every other year. So we try to do this every 2 years, and that's to give us enough time to be able to see how things are changing over time. And also enough time for any changes that we're creating for the city to take effect and really get a sense of, are they meeting the mark or are they not? So every 2 years is the answer to that question. It'll be done in multiple ways. The primary way will be through the mail. So there's a randomized group of people that have been selected for this that will receive a packet in the mail. And if you do receive that packet, just know it's not junk mail. We really are conducting a community survey to get residents' experiences and reactions to different programs and services. And so again, if you get that in the mail, please take that. That's the primary way that this is going to be sent out. And then there will be online ways to do it as well. So if you receive the mailer, but you prefer doing it online, there will be a QR code included on that, and so folks will have the opportunity to take that survey online as well.
Jacques, based on prior surveys, what type of responses do you hope to get?
So there's no one answer to this. There are many different responses that are helpful to us. Yes. One of the big things that we're working on right now that I'll give you as an example is the Community Safety Action Strategy. And this is the city's approach to creating a coordinated response to perceptions of safety. Mm-hmm. This started because many years ago, we started to see a pattern in terms of perceptions of safety, which is one of the questions on the survey. Mm-hmm. And we noticed that perceptions of safety were not equitable across the city. They really differed based on where you lived in the city, mm-hmm. and also who you were and how you identified. And so because of that, we've been on this journey of trying to address the different reasons why perceptions of safety are different through this coordinated response in the Community Safety Action Strategy. So that's just one example with one question of perceptions of safety. But there are a ton of questions that influence different programs and services. For example, there are questions about how satisfied you are with your garbage pickup, for example, right? So that informs our environmental services team about what's working, what's not working.
Right.
Same thing for roads, same things for social services, right? So all these different things that the city tries to do to try to help, provide the community with what their needs are. We want to know how we're doing, and the survey gives us an opportunity to ask the broad questions about how that's going, but also hone in on all these different specific services so that we can see, hey, this isn't working for folks for these reasons. Let's think about how we can do things differently to really meet the need.
And so this next question, I mean, I think it's a pretty clear-cut answer, and you've kind of spoken on that, but how important is Tacoma's community survey? And then what past results were adopted based on the finding?
So this is so important because as a city, we have all these different programs and services that we have, right? And the community, we have 225,000 plus people, right? Each with, unique needs. And so as a city, it's so crucial that we are constantly checking in, not just with the community, but with different parts of the community. And so we do that in a lot of different ways. For those folks that are really interested in how the city is growing and developing, we've engaged with folks around home in Tacoma and that process quite a bit. But that doesn't necessarily give us the full picture of a representative sample of the city in all these different programs and areas. So in addition to constantly asking folks, how is this particular initiative meeting your vision for the future, the community survey is unique in that it allows us to sort of take a step back, really get a full view of the city because it is representative, and I'm happy to say more about what that means if that's interesting, but to really understand across geographies, across demographics, how are all of these different programs and services either meeting the mark or not. So in that way, it's one of the best tools that we have for really informing the city in terms of how our programs and services are doing. So incredibly important for that reason.
And when the survey results come in, who receives those findings? Who gets those findings, and how will they be used?
Yeah. So the findings are taken by my office, the Office of Strategy. We're running the community survey. Once those results are packaged, they're immediately shared with leadership, the city manager, and our executive team, as well as we will have a study session once those results are public with the council, because obviously the city council should be given that information as soon as possible in terms of what are we hearing from your constituents, what's coming up in the survey that you as council members should know when you're making policy and directing us as staff in terms of what our priorities need to be. So that's the goal, is that really this should be informing everything that the city does, from the policymaker level to the city management level. And again, this is just a great tool for all of us at the city to be able to check in with our community and understand how are everything that we're doing, how is everything that we're doing meeting the expectations.
And one final quick question, Jacques. What and who will get the survey, and what's the deadline for the submission?
So there has been a randomized selection of several thousand people, and randomized, sorry, just to go on a quick tangent here, randomized just means that a specific group of people have been selected that meet the quantitative requirements to be able to say this represents all 220,000 plus people in Tacoma based on geography, demographics, things like age, etc., so that we know when we get these results, it's a nice overview of all of Tacoma, and we're not oversampling any particular geography or demographic.
Gotcha. And then the deadline?
And the deadline is going to be in a couple of months. So when folks receive that packet, they'll see all the information there. It's going to be starting in a few weeks, and it'll be going through June most likely. So there's a 2-month window, for folks to answer the call.
Gotcha. Well, Jacques, we really appreciate you being here, everything that you and your team are doing, and I'm sure the community appreciates the opportunity to be a part of this survey so they can express what their needs are, what things they'd like to see changed, or whatever their concerns are. So thank you again for being here, and we hope to see you back.
Thank you so much, and thank you to all the community members in advance that are going to be helping us out with their feedback in the survey.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jacques. So coming up, the United States Air Force lands in Tacoma for a special concert. Don't go away. Welcome back to Tacoma Report.
Fort Nisqually turns 90 this year. As a living history museum, the fort is celebrating a lineup of events and programs in this report by Dave Gordon.
Fort Nisqually is part of the Metro Parks Tacoma properties. It's situated along 5 Mile Road in the heart of Point Defiance Park in Tacoma. The fort is a recreation and a snapshot of early Pacific Northwest trading and commerce. 2 of the original buildings are part of the museum, along with almost a century of experiences replicating the mid-1850s pioneering era.
This year, being our 90th anniversary, we really wanted to refresh our events, bring in some new and exciting things. We also have all of our normal summer events going on.
Staff, like Sarah, occasionally don period piece clothing that's often seen by visitors at the fort. During many events, volunteers have become an indispensable resource involving the support of a living museum like Fort Nisqually.
And our volunteers are really who make our events possible. They come out and they run our programming, they bring the fort alive, and they really just are wonderful to work with.
Events keep the fort buzzing with historic activities, like the ones coming up later in May.
We've got a number of events coming up this summer. Queen Victoria's birthday happens May 18th. Followed up by our Dime You Must event, which is a farm-to-table style dinner, new last year, and we are so excited to be back again, and those tickets will also be available soon on our website.
And don't think it's all about dusty history. Interactive events also include such things like a happy hour.
We also have our adult-only series, our Homespun Happy Hour, which is a 21-plus opportunity for adults to come out and learn different heritage skills and spend an evening at the fort.
As days grow longer and a bit warmer, Fort Nisqually visitors are welcome throughout the week.
Starting May 1st, we'll be open 7 days a week, 11 to 5. Come out and visit us, even if it's just to say hi to the chickens. It's always lots of fun.
For Tacoma Report, I'm Dave Gordon.
This year's Historic Preservation Month celebration is now through the end of May. It's chock full of events and activities, starting with several neighborhood events happening the first weekend in May. This year's theme of Discovering Tacoma Stories showcases how history comes alive when we honor and preserve the stories that are the heart of our community and go beyond just the bricks and mortar of our historic places and landmarks. To join in the fun and get more details about all of this year's Historic Preservation Month events, visit cityoftacoma.org/HP events.
Take a hike is a good thing with Metro Parks Tacoma. Park guides are ready for you on a wide variety of trailblazing adventures. Discovering Defiance. Drop-in hikes at Point Defiance are Saturdays, 9 a.m., meeting at the Rhododendron Garden. Focus in on park spotlights with park guides at Manitou Park, Tuesday, May 7th through Thursday, May 9th, from 2 to 5 p.m. There are McKinley Park hikes too on Tuesday, May 21st through Thursday, May 23rd from 2 to 5. The park hikes are free and open to all of the community. Visit the Metro Parks Tacoma's website for more information.
This spring and summer, check out all the events that Tacoma Creates funded organizations have available for you. Whether you're looking for a family-friendly cultural performance, STEAM-focused workshop, or panel discussion on Tacoma's history, this events calendar highlights a diverse range of programs. By browsing through the calendar or searching for specific programs, you are sure to find an event that matches your interests or needs. And many of these events are free. Visit tacomacreates.org/events to find an event today.
Join the U.S. Air Force Band of the Golden West at the Pantages Theater May 12th. The concert showcases music including classical pieces, military marches, Broadway favorites, and a special performance with the Tacoma Refugee Choir. The Band of the Golden West represents the Air Force's Air Mobility Command and more than 600,000 airmen serving worldwide. The free concert starts at 3 p.m. on Sunday, May 12th, with pre-event activities from noon to 2 p.m. Reservations are online at afbandconcerts.com. That wraps up this edition of Tacoma Report.
A great way to find out about the services the City of Tacoma has to offer is by going to cityoftacoma.org.
We leave you with the sights of the Junior Daffodil Parade. I'm Angie Foster.
Hundreds of little ones got a chance to be in the parade, with lots of proud parents snapping photos along the way. I'm Laura Proctor. Thanks for watching.